Hi guys, welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, we got a great one for you today. We got this sort of film strip type gallery. Want to hover over an image, it's going to grow. And of course you can click on it, pop it out into a light box. Really nice effect, and with this we're going to show you how you can change the number of columns for your Divi gallery and create this hover effect on your images. Really easy to do. So let's get started. I'm going to enable the Visual Builder. All once enabled, let's go down. I'm going to delete the row this is in and we'll start from scratch. I've got a section here, the blue tab. I've actually taken away any padding from this section so that the row within it is going to be butted up against top and bottom there. So let's add our row. Little green button to add a row. And we use a single column for this today. And funnily enough, I'm going to use a gallery module. Let's add some images. Now, my gallery, I want 6, or a column of 6 in each row. So I want about 18 images. So if I select this first one here, hold my shift key down, 3 6s are 18, that should be 18 here. And all these crazy images here are generated by Night Cafe. If you're interested in that sort of thing, check out the link down below the video. Well, let's select all of these. I'm going to roll down. As with any gallery, you can delete any if you want to, or you can reposition them by left clicking on them, moving them to where you want and releasing your button. I'm happy with the way they are. I want 18 of them, 3 rows of 6 basically. I don't want to show the name or anything like that. So under Elements, Show Title and Caption, we can turn that to off, and also Show Pagination, because we're not going to have any other pages anyway. So link-wise, don't want to link it to anywhere, and by default they're going to pop out into a light box anyway. Great. Well, let's just save this a moment. I'm going to go into the row they're sitting in, and I'm going to get rid of the gutters, which is the gaps in between here. To do that, go into the row, the green tab right there. I'm going to go to Design, Sizing, use Custom Gutter Width. I'm going to flip that to Yes. I'm going to take it all the way to the left, down to 1, and as you can see, there's no space between either of those. Great, let's close Sizing up. Spacing wise, I don't want any padding top or bottom. I want this to be butted up against whatever section's on top and whatever section's on bottom. So I'm going to take away any padding top and bottom by putting a 0 in there and hitting the chain. That way we're touching the 2 sections above and below. And because I already had my section in place, I did the same thing for the actual section itself. The blue tab here, Design, Spacing, I put a 0 in. That too. So we got no gaps between the section and the row and the module. Fantastic. Well, let's go into our gallery module now. Dark tab for the module. When we roll over these, you may have noticed there's an overlay there with a little icon. I don't want any of that. I want my picture to actually zoom and get bigger. So if we go over to our design now, in layout, by default it's set to grid, which is exactly what I want now. You can make it into a slider. That's not going to work for me today. Thumbnail orientation landscape works better for these images. They're actually all generated in landscape mode. But if you need to, if you've got portrait type images, you can change it there. Here's the one I want, overlay. I'm going to make both the icon color and the overlay background color transparent so you don't know it's there, you can't see it. Fantastic. Okay, well, let's make this thing the way we want it now. I want it to be a column of 6 rather than a column of whatever it is here. Default's 4. And I think it goes to 3 and then 2 on mobile. Tablet being the 3. So let's go over to our advanced here. We're going to do a bit of CSS coding, and don't worry, it's really easy. And any code I write, I'll put down below the video. If you need to, you can just copy and paste it. So I'm going to go down to Custom CSS. We're in the Gallery module over in the Advanced tab, Custom CSS. I'm going to go to Module Elements, I'm going to go roll down to the actual gallery item itself. So to change the number of rows we've got here, we need to give it a width percentage. This is 100%, the full width of a row here. So we need to divide that by the number of columns that we want. I want 6. So 100 divided by 6, and I did this on a calculator earlier, so I know it's 16.6. So let's say width, colon, 16.66%. I'm going to put the important over it because we're overwriting the initial styles here. Don't like to use important, but sometimes you have to because we're overriding styles. And that's exclamation and the word important. As you can see, I sort of squeezed down a little bit different here, but it's not 6 of them there. The reason is we've got a bit of float going on. We'll clear that. And we may have a bit of margin going on. So let's put a semicolon after our line of code there. If you don't, it won't read the next line of code underneath here. I'm going to say margin 0, make sure there's no margin there. And again, we're overriding the default styles. So let's just copy that important and we'll use it again on this one. Great. And we don't want any float. At the moment, it's trying to push it to the left there, probably. So let's say clear. None. And again, we'll have to use that important to overwrite the styles. When I put this in, that should change to 6 columns. Fantastic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. Now, if you want to, you can change the amount of columns that you've got on tablet and mobile quite easily. Let's go back down to our code here. And I'll copy my width, 16.66, important. Let's flip to tablet mode. I'm going to copy that. Little icon up here. If you don't see it, just hover over the dark writing. Make sure you're on the gallery item here. There's a little mobile phone type icon. We can have a different value on tablet. Let's perhaps, if you want to keep that, just leave it as it is. But I'm going to make mine perhaps 3 columns. So I'm going to paste my width in there. And 3, I have to know, is double this, basically, 33.33%. 33.33. And we've got 3 columns there on tablet. And if we want to do the same, we can go to mobile. And that's a right mess. And let's make that 2, perhaps. So let's paste that in there. And 2, obviously, is going to be 50%. 50. Now we got column 2 there on mobile. Column 3 on tablet. And a column of 6 on desktop. It's kind of where I want it. Let's just save this now. But I want mine full width. I want it to go, the whole width of the screen here. Really easy to do. We'll go into our row, the green tab. Going to go over to design. Sizing. Width. I'm going to slide that up to 100%. I'm going to copy the 100%, Control C. I'm going to paste it in the max width just down below, Control V, or you can just type it in there if you want to. We've now got a full width gallery. Perfect. So let's create our hover effect where it gets a little larger when we hover over it. So we'll go back into our gallery. Little dark tab again. We're going to go back to where we were in the CSS over here, custom CSS, module elements, gallery item. Now when it hovers, I want these to grow, I don't know, by 10 or 15%. That's up to you. Let's do this. We'll close up the little tablet mode and mobile mode there. Next door to it, you've got a little icon, which is an arrow. So we can create a hover state, have completely different values when the mouse is not on it, desktop, and when the mouse is on it, hover. Click on the hover tab. And let's make this bigger by using a bit of transform. We're going to use scale. Right at the end of scale, we'll put some rounded brackets. And let's make it maybe 1.2. So it'll be 20% bigger, as you can see there. And that looks like a right mess because when we're doing the code here, it's doing all of them at once. You'll notice when I go to the other end, it only does the one that you're hovering on, which is fine. But when we make these bigger, I want to make sure the one we're hovering on is on top. of everything so it doesn't hide half of it behind one of the other images here. So to make sure it's going to do that, we can do a little ZIndex and give it a nice high value. So I'll say ZIndex. ZIndex is how things appear on top of each other. Let's give it like 999 or something like that. Something with a higher Z-index value will always appear on top of something with a lower Z-index value. So we've given this a nice high number there. So when we hover over it, it should work. Now the time it takes to get from desktop to hover state when you're using pure CSS like this is absolutely instant. I want to slow it down so you can actually see it zoom in. So let's do transition duration. And it's prompted us down there. You can just click on the prompt if you want to. We'll put a colon there. And let's make it, well, let's slow it down nicely. I used half a second before. Let's use 3/4 of a second, 0.75s. That's great. Well, we should be good to go now. Let's save our changes here. And don't forget, I'll put this code down below. Modify it, use it how you wish. We'll save the changes. Save the page changes. And let's exit the visual builder. And there's our gallery. Let's hover over a little item there. That's great. As you can see, that's growing. It's going on top of any of the ones behind it there. The crazy names you're seeing there are the actual names of these images. Like I say, they were generated by Night Cafe AI. You can change those names to anything you want. One more thing that I will do. These bottom ones right here, it's spilling out of our row, which is okay. If you like that, you can leave it just like that. But I don't want anything to spill out of this row. And let's just make sure when we click on one, it's going to pop out. Yeah, that's fine. So I think we're good to go apart from that little bit of spillage right there, which is called overflow when it falls out of an element. Really easy fix. No coding involved in this. Let's re-enable the visual builder. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into our row, the green tab, and go over to the advanced, down to visibility. There we'll find horizontal and vertical overflow. I'm going to change both of those from default to hidden. That way anything that spills outside of that row will not be seen. So let's save that and we should be done. Save our page changes. And let's exit the visual builder. Great. Well, everything's working as expected. These bottom ones, though, should scale. And now you don't see anything spilling out of the bottom there, which is just exactly what I wanted. So there you go, guys. There's how to create a Filmstrip type gallery and have a nice little hover effect on your images. As you can see, really easy to do, really nice little effect to have on your site. So I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.